at London's event for Tasty Trade, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, which was awesome. And if anyone who's watching, they can jump onto our IG and check out some of the events that happened on that day. It was amazing. See some familiar faces, some UK-based traders, and of course, seeing the Tasty team and Tom do their thing, which was incredible. And the main event was kind of just creating awareness around packing out a portfolio, which we cover in the final sections of the Zero to Hero.
Plug that away.
That one in. And yeah, just honing back in the idea of what we're doing here is just to have our own. You're managing your own trading business essentially, and that portfolio and the plan that we create with the trade logger at the end is just monumental to making sure your strategies are pulling through monthly, and then ultimately your annual goals get achieved and realized. So yeah, it was awesome. Lots of food for thought.
It was a very technical presentation, as Tasty Trade always are. They are how do I put it? Their softwares leaps and bounds upon everybody else. That's why we promote it as well. It's phenomenal. There is so much metrics you can follow. There's many ways to trade options, and they make it very simplistic. And this presentation over the weekend really just showed off how far ahead they are. And then in come us. And I still think we're so relevant in what we're trying to do with Trade Social. We are for beginners, which I think Tasty Trade skipped by. That was them 10, 20 years ago, pushing the beginner side, where they very much focus on intermediate, advanced. So
yeah,
I think it was good.
Yeah, no, well said. I think just really cool that we're here and trying to put a name or trying to put our flag in the ground in the trading world, especially for options, and just sort of decoding it, making it nice and simple.
You can exist as a beginner. You can profit as a beginner with just one simple strategy. You can with us you can create a strong foundation that you can profit from, and you can stay there if that's all you have time for. It's a 3-4 hour week with us as beginners for outsized better returns than what do they call it, the basic rate. I think I've just got that right. It's the put your money into a savings account rate. We are roughly four times the savings rate for about 3-4 hours work a week. As a simple beginner trader.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got to start somewhere. So it's just awesome. So on that note, I can start sharing my platform and we can go through the steps exactly.
Wicked. Ready when you are.
Okay, awesome. Let me share my screen. And I'm going to get my portfolio up first, and then we'll head to my trade log later on. So just let me know that you can see that, Luke, that has come up on the screen. Are you there? Can you see that? Okay, I'm not sure.
The stream disconnected.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, I am with you. Crack on. I think I was skipped out.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. All right, so as long as you can see the screen though, because as my mentor, if you like, there are a few questions I have today, which would be great for everyone.
Me being that guy, mentor.
So here we go. We've got my SPY at the top here, June the 21st. And as we've said since we've started this My Student Share,
sure,
we have been sort of just letting everyone know that this is a position that we are rolling. Mainly a strategy that Tasty Trade promote a lot. We personally don't go with rolling trades anymore, but this was purely an educational position, and we will continue to roll that. And if you watching the Zero to Hero, that's all debunked in there for you to understand a little bit more on rolling. However, we might be doing a little bit of practical on that today to let people come along on the journey, as I have got a 10-day DTE here. The position's been open for 82 days. And my questions for Luke on this would be, how should I feel about that 10 days as we're getting closer? We've already both agreed that we're waiting until this P&L at least is neutral. I think the SPY, we'd like that to move quite substantially before we close this position. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Luke?
Simply that nothing has changed. There's my video back. Fantastic, everyone. I'm here. I blipped for a minute. So yeah, I think with this SPY vertical, we are rolling to perpetuity. I can't pronounce that word well until until we'll keep adding credit to this trade, adding DTE to this trade until we get back to scratch, and trading options this way allows us to do it. The fact we're at 10 days means we should do something. So yeah, you're right. Today, let's do some admin on that one when you want to. We should roll this out to another DTE.
Yeah, I think, well, whilst we're taking care of this now, it makes sense to just follow through. And like you said, add some more credit in and hopefully roll it out to a further DTE. So if you give me the go ahead on that, I will give it a right click. Sorry, I want both of those in there. And I am going to look at, we've got quick roll in the drop in the drop down box. Hopefully you can see that on your screen. And underneath that, I have roll expirations, which is what we're looking for here. Simply just to push out that DTE and give us some more time, buying more time essentially. So what I've got here is we don't want to go for a 13-day, definitely not. So the furthest one out I can go is 24 days. That's the option.
Just on that drop down though, I'd click on that because it's just a quick tab. So you click on the 24 and then it'll open it up to your order ticket where you can select more time.
All right, let's check this out. So here we have, sorry. Yeah, as you can see there, that is in the money, as they say.
In the money.
It is.
Yeah.
Weird to see a position of ours in the money.
In the grey area, because being option sellers, we're normally outside, out of the money, trading theta.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Theta.
so I would next add some time, add some expiration. You're currently going from 10 to 24. I would go out to something like 4 months, perhaps. 4 months might be quite good. So 360, 120, if you go out to that DTE.
So what I'll do here is I'm just clicking plus on the expiration tab at the bottom, 4 buttons. And as you can see at the top, just underneath where it says strike, it's just slowly adjusting these DTEs that I can take for my strike prices. I've got 111 there, and then it goes to 129. So somewhere between 111 days and 129. Would you agree, Luke?
Yeah, so I would go for the higher at October 18. I agree with that. Why not? More time equals equals should normally be more credit. In this scenario, it's going to be a slight debit, but more time is always great in a trade, especially like this.
Yeah. So then the next step would be obviously looking at this price discovery here, and I can see here my buying power effect $119 as a debit. So essentially, I would want to try and bring the debit down if I can, send that into the market with a slightly smaller debit. Am I right?
You're already at the natural, so if I was you, you'd have to push it up a little bit. I would actually not push it up. I would try the market where it is, and
at the mid price. Sorry, not the natural.
Yeah, at the mid price. Yeah, and put it as a GTC.
All right. Let's pop that. So essentially what's happening here is that I am adding $117 of debit to continue to roll this trade.
Yes, absolutely. It's it's taking from the initial credit that you collected on day one. Yeah, so this is not ideal. You're going to have to take a little debit here, but it's certainly better than closing the whole trade down.
Yeah, absolutely. And fingers crossed, nobody knows anything, and we may see you know, a big movement in the SPY over the coming months. And like you said, there's no rush here. We've got, you know, until the end of the year, we've got over 6 months left. So happy to sit on that and just see where it lies.
Well said. Absolutely.
Order, and it's just gone in working. So I will keep everyone updated in case my little ticker goes off. And so let's get back to the positions tab then and check out my more exciting trades. So here we've got a 112, October 18th is the expiry. And really, really nice here to see 36% with only the position being open for 28 days.
Yeah, I agree. Over 1% a day is what we aim for. So yeah, good stuff.
Super promising. And yeah, I'm just going to let that sit and do its thing because we've got 128 days left there. Coming on to my biggest trade that I've made so far in this portfolio, which I did feel quite anxious
422.
And 422 November 15th. I'm really excited about this one. It was like the higher end of my 5% risk for my personal fund amount. But as we agreed, and you can go back and watch the earlier portfolio shares, the student shares, that I already had quite a few positions open. And kind of the idea behind this is if you have the money there, it's easier for maintenance sake, just to put on a sort of a position with a couple more contracts rather than having more positions to have to manage. And I couldn't afford it. So it was all part of the calculation. It's all part of the portfolio management metrics, if you like. So yeah, although I say that I was worried about it and it was a higher risk, it's all been calculated for. So essentially there shouldn't be anything untoward with this position. And as I can see here now, it's been open for 20 days and it's already sitting at 12%, which I'm really happy with. And when I first opened it, it was in a negative. But I've started to learn and grow now as a beginner student that, you know, seeing the red first off when you open the trade, it really isn't a bad thing. And when you start to look at like your pop and the deltas, it all comes together and you realize that you just give it time. It's going to work out in your favor. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to say on that at the moment. Have I missed anything out, Luke, would you say?
All sounds crystal clear. If people are following along, a couple of weeks lessons, we've been covering this as your October 15 was seeing a bit of red. It's great to see it recovering and to document the realities of trading these naked puts.
Absolutely.
So all good. Yeah, fine.
All right, so moving on to another October 18th, another 112. It's been open 15 days and already it's making more than just over 1% a day. And again, it's a young trade, same DT as two previous, so I'm going to sit on that, but really happy with its performance so far. September 20th, another 112. This is looking great. 35 days. It's been on longer.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah,
very good.
It's almost hit 50% profit target. Essentially, we can sit on this for longer, and I think I will. That's my decision. But just a reminder for everyone that, you know, if you're at the end of the month and you want to take profit, or you've got a slightly soaring delta, this is sort of a position that you could start to look at to close and get your portfolio back to neutral and just to take some profit, I think. But since we're at the beginning of the month, I'm going to sit on it, and hopefully we can get a really good profit, a really good return on that by the end of the month. And like, I think your guidelines on that was kind of, if you can, and you've got the space to let it sit, you're closing it around 90% is really awesome. Am I right in saying that?
You're right. Absolutely. Yeah, very, very good. You're sounding like me these days.
I'm not
it's
quite.
Like the student has become the master.
No
wow.
way. I'm just
well said.
Like, feeling a lot more confident, and there's still so much more to learn. But from these shares, it's just phenomenal how much I feel my confidence has grown. Even watching you with your own portfolio and seeing in real time how you can manage it. Yeah, worth its weight in gold, really, I think. So.
Absolutely. We're really enjoying these shares. It's like the highlight of our weeks. Yeah, stick around, and we're gonna see a lot more of these. It's working. Practically, people just learn a lot better. So we'll cover more students from TS, and who knows, I might even have to start covering my larger portfolio if enough people start asking for that.
That's really awesome. Yeah, hopefully that won't blow too many people's minds. I know that you use quite a few other strategies, don't you? At the moment, we're just keeping it simple purely for the beginner's sake, but that would be awesome for sure. Okay, so moving on to another September 20th, 112 here. And I am sat already at 42% on 28 days. That's really working well. I'm really happy with that. Nothing much.
Amazing.
As we're sat on 101 days. So just going to let that one do its thing, but it's looking really promising. So that'll be exciting at the end of the month for sure.
Cool.
Okay, so moving on to, I've got two hedges here. This is the vertical side of my 112 and vertical put, sorry. So I closed the naked put, and it's pretty much sitting at, it's at an 84% loss, but that is exactly what it's supposed to do. So if we look at the difference between the two strikes, they're pretty much cancelling each other out, which is really awesome. And yeah,
cool.
Got to sit on that. I've got 50 days there, and I won't be looking to close it until the day before the expiry runs out. So yeah, like you said, as you always say, you got to give to take.
Yeah, so exactly.
First.
You got to give the market something, just like you give the tax man something. Don't be greedy.
So again, August 16th, this is the vertical put, part of my naked put. It's the hedge, and pretty much same story, really close together. 81.6% and then 81.7%. So yeah, there's nothing alarming here. This is working out perfectly as it's supposed to. And yeah, I've got 66 days on that, so I'm going to let it do its thing. It's a really strange feeling to have, to be like creating a loss essentially in your overall portfolio, but knowing that it's in the grand scheme of it, it's not really a loss when you look at, it's like the 5% compared to all of your other positions per year, right? So
well, this isn't, first of all, this isn't a 5% loss. No, this is the other side of the ratio. The naked put brought in, we'll cover this loss first of all, and then pay out as a 2-to-1 ratio. So this being the one that you lose as a natural hedge.
I was just going to say that was a really clean way of putting it. Thank you. I was kind of going towards the fact that, the reality is that there will be some losses throughout the year, but the other positions make up for that, the wins. But thank you for pulling that apart and simplifying it. That's exactly what we need to
do. No, all good. What you are saying is completely valid in the grand scheme. We have around the 95% success rate with these 112s. And then what happens with the 5% losses is what you're getting at. And it's, we're creating enough profit so that we can pay back naked puts that don't work. And what else doesn't work is, what in inverted commas doesn't work, is the 1-1 part of the twos. Very often the 1-1 part is the vertical. It's the natural hedge. And that is like an insurance play that we will continue. If we continually lose on that insurance play, it means we are doing something right and we are making profit. That's just grinding the gears and making money this way. And if the market does fall down, our insurance policy pays out. So we make that money back when that cycle comes around. So I don't see anything wrong with that. I much prefer to trade like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just awesome way to put it. Thanks for that. So just to finish off then, my final position that I've currently got open, 112, September 20th.
Nice. 62. Nice, look at that.
62.9%. So for
golden, mate. Look at that little nipper, mate.
So yeah, for anyone who were the members watching my close at the end of last month, this was actually one of the positions that I was going to close on the Friday, which would have made me hit my 2% goal. So this is full disclosure, full transparency here, because I potentially got greedy or I got scared of the marker. I don't know if you remember, Luke, I know that you were super busy around that time, but I did send you a message to say, it sat at 41% or something. And I just wasn't sure because it hadn't hit that 50% marker. And in the end, I decided to leave it. So I guess I don't know if that was correct practice or not. And you can tell me that as my mentor, but I was kind of thinking, I was already super stoked that I'd hit, I think it's like 1.80% for the month, which was already a massive markup from my first month's trading, which is the month prior. And so I was really happy, but maybe, I don't know. It does mean that I'll be taking more profit this month. So it doesn't work out in the end.
Yeah, I get your logic. I get it. It's your portfolio. You run it how you wish to. I think personally, I would have taken that trade off and recycled the money into a new 112. And why would I have done that differently? Just for the sake of hitting my 2% target for last month. Yeah, but like you said, you did 1.8 or 1.9 something percent, which is incredible for a monthly return. So we'll get your second ever month as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it is paramount as a reminder that our biggest goal is to hit that monthly percent. So really,
exactly.
I'm glad I've had this little. It's not even a bump in the road. It's a minor, but it's great to be able to see it and to talk it through with you, because now it just is a reminder for me that where my focus should lie on that 2%, and if not more. But yeah, awesome. Nothing. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. My portfolio is still running as it should be. But my question now to you is: should I take this off today?
Why would you take it off at the beginning of June?
No, I wouldn't. I would leave it, but I just didn't know. Recycling money or anything like that. I mean, we can go onto my trade log now, actually, because we've kind of finished up my positions for today, and just have a look at where my BP is sitting, because potentially I could put on another trade. It's normally like how of the month.
I'm happy to walk that through just to finish your point in your question, which is there's valid questions. There's we're all we're dealing with beginner, we're creating beginner content, and you are a beginner yourself, exposing yourself with these questions. All these members that are following would love to be asking these questions, I'm sure. So why wouldn't we take off trades at the beginning of June that haven't hit 90? because this trade 63 now should get somewhere around an 80%, maybe even get to the magic 90 to take it off at the end of the month. So I'd leave it on. The argument of recycling the money, I would have said that at the end of last month, but now it's being a fresh month. We need to get into the good practice of holding trades, or putting on new trades at the beginning of the month. We're not really profit focused at the beginning of the month. Unless the caveat is delta. If we're going out of our range, then that makes us either close trades or open up hedges.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Thank you for that overview. It's making sense and just reassuring me. It's always interesting to keep looking at your metrics, keep looking at your Greeks. Where are they sat? I think I got a 22 delta. I think we can jump on it now actually, and I can fill.
Let's go to your trade log. I'd like to see how you finished last month as well. It'd be cool to record that for the there's our beautiful faces. Ugly mugs, more like. It'd be great to see that for the recording. Trade logs.
Sure.
So big requests from people talking about, we want to see raw results. Big part of these practicals. Talk us through it. 1.87, good month.
So yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I have done my roundup in my last share, the end of the month of May. So all of that juicy content's in there. The only thing that we were kind of hoping for, as me and Luke have just run through now, was to close that last 112. That would have bumped me up for certain to that 2% goal. So baby steps. This is only my second month trading, already phenomenal return. And so next month I can just ensure that I've got better practice at hitting those percentages, and it's all growing. Really, really happy.
It's good just to go full circle, because we left end of last month saying that's in the market. We're looking. We might get that closed. So now we can end that chapter, and we know we got the result. We are now in June.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we are in June, coming down from 40 there, and we are now on the 11th of June. I'm going to put these in now on air, my metrics, my delta, theta, net liquid, and
wicked. I think I love doing that. I think that's really helpful.
What I am going to say though is, as you can see, I've already been trading for a week this month, and I haven't put on any new positions. I've had quite a high delta as well, so I think I've been worried to put on anything new because I'm worried that my delta would soar higher. So really, to remedy that, it would be taking off a trade, like you've said, and recycling that money. What are your thoughts on that, Luke?
My thoughts, I'd say you've got two options. One is to put on, well, let's look at the simple option, is to take off old trades where the delta's got high. You probably would have to take off 2 trades. That's probably the easiest thing, and then that will bring your BP down. It'll bring your delta right down as well in the range, and then we could look at replacing them with 2 more trades plus probably another few, because if you put on 2, you'll be back up at 28% something, and then we need to push to 50 BP. So you're probably going to end up putting on a total of probably 4 new trades, 5 new trades, something. So a fair bit of work to do that. The second option would be to put a hedge on your account. So what we would do is buy a put against the market, which is a negative delta thing.
If I remember rightly, we've actually got you walking us through that in your last TS account share. So for anyone who's watching and is wondering how that works, we've got live step-by-step guidance of putting on a naked put there and creating your own hedge in your portfolio. just to balance out delta.
Yeah, not naked though.
Oh, sorry.
It would naked? Be just, yeah, naked's positive is positive delta. And then yeah, it would be the opposite. So we would buy a put, which would give us negative deltas.
Okay.
Just to make everyone aware on that one.
Yeah. The only thing I will mention is that my personal goals for my account, the delta is 20 plus and 20 minus 20. So I'm not far out. So it's nothing to get too worried about. But yeah, it's still there, still staring at me in the face. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I know. And we have rules to trade. So rule is keep your deltas in range. So you know we're at 0.22, so we should absolutely do something.
Okay.
So I think for now the easiest thing to do is the first option would be to take trades off.
Yeah.
Then we're banking profits in the second week of this month.
Sure.
Not like I said earlier, not the usual thing to do, but this is that caveat time. I didn't realize your account deltas were off. So yeah, this calls for that, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. So let's go in and do that now, I guess. I'm going to share back my portfolio.
Can I see your trade tab as well? I want to know which expiries are free.
Sure. So my trade tab here, I've got 157. Well, it's not necessarily free because I've already got a position in there. But yeah, I don't have a my deltas aren't really that available in this one. 25 and a 22.
Okay, so we're very full. Can you just come out this one and let's see if anything was free. So you got an 80-day. So the August 30th, we know we could as potential, and then also we're going to be taking off a few now, which would help.
Yeah.
Let's look at So let's say we can add one on the August 30, and then let's look at your positions tab to see what we would take off, I reckon.
Sure. I think I actually could get away with September 20, as I've got a 23 and a 20 delta available there for my vertical, and I have a 6 delta available for my naked put.
Okay, let me just show you something though, because what I'm thinking something slightly different. If you mark up the trade, let's walk this through so that practically you can figure out what you're doing. If you go back to where you were, is that where you were?
Well,
I think you were.
I was in.
And then I want you to mark up. I think you're in a September. I want you to mark it up and show us the delta, because I think the delta will be slightly positive.
Okay.
And we don't want to add more delta right now.
Okay. So does it make more sense to actually close a position and then come and mark up another position to open?
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Completely. Yeah.
So shall I go to positions then?
No, I just want to. I want to document this if that's all right. If you have the time.
Cool. Yeah, no.
Let's show the order ticket for a 112. Let's look at the delta.
Okay, so I will be. I want to buy the 23. Delta, and I'm going to sell the 20, and then I'm going to come down to put on my naked put part of the position, which would be here. So I will be selling, and I'm just going to add the quantity on this up to 2
nice one. Well done.
So yeah, we're looking at a positive delta of 0.10.
It's a very small delta, isn't it? Okay, so I don't know what. So that's an individual delta to make everyone aware. And what we record is the beta weighted against the SPY, so against the overall market. So that 0.1 will not be exactly what we see in Sophie's portfolio, okay?
Yeah.
But I think we now need to do is to put this trade on, and then see how it changes your beta weighted delta. Which I don't think there's any harm doing that. We've just said we know we need to put more trades on, but for this practical, it'd be quite an interesting exercise.
Okay.
Yeah, are you with me, or are you just trusting me blindly?
No, I am with you. I'm just still not sure on the practice of if I have a position that I can take off, which we know will bring my delta down. Doesn't that not make sense to do that first?
In the practical world, or in normality, yes. What I'm very curious to see is putting this trade on, how much that will affect your beta weight.
Okay. All right.
For the sake of like kind of proving the point that we should be doing what you're saying, we shouldn't. It's not like a hard and fast rule. We shouldn't put another trade on now. It's kind of just methodically, it makes sense to put out the fire first of the delta by taking trades off, and then doing this, putting on a trade in the September 20. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, all of this is going to happen anyway. We are going to put a trade on in September 20 later anyway. So.
Okay. All right. So I will take off my naked put, as you always remind me that you do it opposite to me. So today I'm going to do it your way.
Hang on a minute. I've got some news for you. And if Jack is following along, I know he watches these. Thank you very much, Jack, to bring it to our attention. I don't know if I told you so. Tastytrade will now allow these three strikes at the same time.
How interesting.
Isn't it? It's much friendlier. So if you send this now, it should all get filled.
Oh my gosh, they're so intuitive. They're so on the pulse, aren't they, to any sort of upgrades that need working out. It's just always
definitely
developing this platform. It's really cool. All right, so I'll go good to close, and I'm gonna sit on the mid price, and yeah, just checking that one out.
Yeah,
so I can just check. I've got my 2 contracts, for my naked put, and then 1 for my vertical. All right.
Yep. All good.
Sending the order. Okay, so that's working at the moment. Keep you updated.
Cool, and it didn't get rejected, so that means
exactly. So yeah, thank you, Jack, for sharing that little nugget of wisdom with us.
Yeah, well said.
Inside of the game. All right,
it's a good one from him. Good one from him. He'll joke because it's his career to push buttons, and he works on TV sets, doesn't he? So it's his job to poke at things and figure out how many ways you can test and pull it apart. He's figured it out.
It's fantastic.
Giving back. Okay, so let's do some price discovery to get that one filled, Soph.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into there and ooh. So if you look at that there, it's come as a clump, like you said. They're all together. My naked put and my vertical is all together. That's great. That's so much easier on the eyes. Hang on, is it?
Yeah, they cluster it. They cluster it all together.
But
yeah.
How will I find out
good.
what my debit part is to my vertical?
what you'll do is on your positions tab, you'll find your trade prices. I can show you that later on, or in another separate video. Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to go back in to work this price discovery a little bit with Luke, and so mid price wasn't quite working out for us. Maybe I should push myself back down to the natural price a little bit.
You already clicked it, which has pushed it up even further. So yeah,
so mid price is here, right? 27.7275. And then
what I'm saying to you, Soph, is that the market's moved. So there's a new mid price. It's always moving. So I think the mid price was 25.50 when you put your trade on. Okay.
So regardless of that, I do want to go down. I want to hit more towards the natural price. So that's 25.50. So I'll go down to 25.25.
Yeah, I would.
Just see where we get with that. Yeah, filled. Perfect.
Great. Good stuff.
I go into my activity here. We've got filled at 25.25. And I'm just going to go into my positions for you, Luke, to just give me the heads up on that. So here's my new position. I'm just going to group it whilst we're here.
Yeah, this will then tell us our beta weight as well.
And so my debit there that I took for...
it's actually moved. You got to try and... It's at the bottom of your page now. The September 20, Soph?
Yeah, cool. So...
okay.
Here? Yeah, happy?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, well done. So the effective delta was a +5 delta, or 4.93.
Where are you getting that
from?
So,
can you see the third to last column? Sorry, the fourth to last column, ETF delta.
Of course. Sorry, I'm so focused on this side. Forget to check over here.
We don't, I know. That's cool that today we're really, this is some heavy stuff today. This is about as heavy as it kind of gets, figuring stuff out, but hopefully the point is coming clear now. So what we did was we marked this trade up, and the delta looked quite neutral at 0.1. However, putting this trade on now, we can see the weight was a 4.93. So if Sophie was to go back to overall, she'd then look on the trade log. If you put your new delta in, it's made the problem a bit worse. Yeah. Anyway, momentarily, for the sake of this practical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for pointing that out and just highlighting where I can find it, and we'll see the difference in a moment. On top of that as well, could you please show me where I'm going to find the debit I've taken to open my vertical put? The credit I took in for my naked put is 16.50.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the column you want. Trade price.
Yeah.
The first column is going to tell you, is going to give you the numbers everyone needs for their trade log.
Okay, so what I would do to figure out my vertical will just be the difference between 49
completely
minus 56.75,
exactly,
which gives me minus 7.75. So that's
simple as that.
It's a really good position to have on because the debit there is less than half of what I've taken in the door for a credit, which is always a good thing to look out for.
Yeah, exactly right. That's where always the goal. And next thing to do then is to take off a few trades. So I think we're going to want to take off at least one trade to try and reduce your delta.
So I'm pretty sure. So I can either go with this one here, September 20th, which is 47.2%. Or I would be looking at another September 20th here at the bottom, which is 62.7%. Both of them have got 110-day DTE. Sorry, yes, they do. My 46%, or it's almost 45%, is sat on 35 days of being open, and my 62 is on 42 days. And then the other thing would be interesting to look at is the deltas, right? So if I close this trade, it's got a 1.28 delta, beta weighted delta, and the other one is on a 1.72, even though the profit is slightly, the percentage of P&L is smaller.
So in the grand scheme of things, this isn't scratching the surface to reduce the deltas. It's but the difference between 0.72 and then 0.27 isn't enough. So what I would suggest that we do is in next session together, we because we won't have enough time to cover hedging today in like a comprehensive, good. I really want to put some time aside to have a good session with you and everyone hedging. So let's leave that for next Tuesday to hedge. I can see now that we're going to have to hedge your portfolio, and it's a very simple process. We'll be risking 5% on buying a put, but I just want to spend some time next week doing that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's important to say like how awesome it is to, again, see this process in real time, because like you said, this is exactly how a beginner trader would sit there and go through their portfolio. And the first thing you're going to look at is taking off a trade. And then as we've just broken it down together, we've looked at the percentage, we've looked at the DTA, and then now you look at the beta weighted, and will that even make an impact in what the goal is in trying to bring down the delta? If it doesn't, there's another strategy that we can take, which will be the hedging, which we can go through next week. But there's another option to take. You're not stuck. And that's really awesome.
Fantastic. So absolutely well said. Yeah. Brilliant. On fire today. The student becoming the teacher. Absolutely. This is it. This is practical world right now. And you're seeing firsthand why it's essential to hedge when your deltas get too high or get out of hand. This is it.
The last thing I would just like to be a little curious on is reminding us that I am only 1 or 2 points out of my delta range. So with that respect, is it just as pressing to be, because if this is a 1.72 beta weighted delta here in the September 20th that I've highlighted, would that essentially bring it back down into the balance if it's only like one or two decimal places out, or not even decimal? It's just I think I'm on 0.22 and I'm supposed to be on 0.20.
But what, in terms of numerical value, how many deltas do you need to go down? Do you know? Do you know if it's like, do you need just 1 delta down, or do you need 10 deltas down?
No,
do you know?
I think it's just like 2.
Two deltas, or do you mean 0.2%?
0.2% to be back in my range.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, be aware of a percentage of your portfolio might mean, to someone with a small account, a couple of deltas just needs to come back into check. And a trade like this one might just do it for them. Whereas if you have a large portfolio, then 0.2% is of a much larger bag. So it might mean that you needed like 100 deltas or something to bring you back down again.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So how are we going to finish this up then? I think we're taking off that. We're taking off that 62%. It just makes the most sense, just because of profit wise. That will be nice because we've just put a trade on, so it's going to switch the two out.
Oh yeah.
And then I'd say I would call it a day for today, and then we come back at it with hedging on Tuesday. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I really, really would love to spend the time going over the hedging. So I think that's going to work out really well for us.
Cool. Good plan. Let's do it.
All right. So I'm just going to full here. So I've got both my two contracts in the naked put that I'll be closing. I'm already at the natural price here. The platform's already done that for me. So at this point, wow, I don't know. Is it better to
price discovery? Yeah. I would say price discovery.
Okay, so maybe I will just hedge
exactly
down to the price.
Yep, that's fine. That's a good shout. Good shout.
Yeah, I guess it's so good. Like, you never know with these things. Just send it off into the market. If it doesn't work out, you can always go back and just adjust.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's always better off to try and get a better deal.
Yeah.
That's kind of the logic. Yeah, be cheeky, try and get a better deal.
Yeah, it's just gone into working. So I think, because I want to close this whilst we're on air if you've got time.
Yeah, I think that kind of episode. It's quite a heavy episode. It'd be good just to finish everything off.
So I'm going to go to the mid price for this. I was just like, yeah.
Why would you do mid and not natural?
Because I was already between the natural and the mid. Oh, so hang on. Yeah.
So what you need to replace,
natural's higher than my mid. So I'm imagining I'm not going to get it filled because I'm asking for too much.
It's the other way around when you close it though, because exactly we open naked puts with credits, and then we have to buy it back, so to speak, to close it. So what the market's asking you for is 7.665, so something higher, so a higher cost to you. So
I want to bring it down to they want a higher cost, but I've already sent it in at 7. Okay, so you're saying send it in at the natural price. Well, it's jumping all the time. All right.
Yeah, it's difficult to price. It's difficult. Market's jumping. I would send that now. Yeah.
Filled. Awesome. All right.
Wicked.
Cool. So see that filled at 7.55.
And good to get it filled on air. We just documented that. I'm not doing too well for battery, FYI. I've got about 11%. So let's wrap things up.
Do you have a charger there, or?
I can get a charger. Did we look enough at your trade log, or do we need to spend time on that?
I'm pretty confident with my trade log. I've just hit 10K in my net liquid, which is really exciting. Cool.
So I know we're trying to compound. Good stuff.
I'm about to add this trade I just closed in. So if we finish now, it'll be a nice little cliffhanger for everyone for next week.
I like it. Let's do that. Really heavy stuff today, I'd say. But we're set. Well, hopefully it made sense. As always, message us. Everyone that's a member at TS, direct message us. We generally have a 24-hour response rate. And then next Tuesday, we will be showing everybody a hedge for Sophie's account to bring those deltas back down. We'll take a reading to see where your trade log is at, and then show how to do the maths for a hedge. And of course, we made profit today. You took a 63%, 64% winner. So nice one.
Yeah, look at him now. When I leave this chat, I will be filling out my trade log. I can't wait to just go and see how that changes all my figures.
Wicked.
All right then.
Exciting.
Yeah, thank you so much for just summarizing that at the end there. And as always, a really brilliant session. We never really know what's going to come up. We're just dealing with it in real time. And that's what makes it so exciting. And
yeah, we're on the chopping block. This is real life practicals. It's exciting, good content. But yeah, this is very real. Yeah, hope everybody enjoyed it. I found that very fun. Very pushed us around a lot. Yeah, so cool. Signing off. Thank you, Soph.
Thank you, and see you on Thursday for the TS account share.
See everybody on Thursday. Bye. Bye-bye.